What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 408 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries podcast network. It's KB, Deej, Hoots coming at you for the first time in 2026. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you had a safe and wonderful holiday, and we've got a wonderful lineup of NLL action to dive into this week. We're recording this on Friday afternoon, so we have one Friday game that we'll talk about in the early go, and then quite a few Saturday matchups that are a ton of fun. We've got PLL Free Agency news and a little bit of college news that if you want the OTB College Show, where they would go more in depth in this, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. We're 16 subscribers away before we start that OTB College Show. If you want that, you have, what is it, Deej, 28 days?
Basically. I mean,
at most?
At the mostest, because
28 days later?
Games this year are starting on the 31st of January. We're getting early lacrosse this year for college, so get on the move, people, if you want me and my nephews to get this thing going.
Unking the kids. Oh, that's hysterical.
It's going to be so fun. Oh, my nephews.
Before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. We're on every social platform. Follow Hoots at Hoots Sports Media. Follow DJ at SCS_NextGreat. Follow our guy Zach. He'll be in San Diego on Saturday shooting. DJ, you're going to get professional photos for us for your Calgary Roughnecks.
I only want to see him if they win. He should still take amazing photos. I know they're going to be amazing.
Which you will.
Regardless.
Zach's going to crush it.
I don't want anybody out there to get the wrong idea. Zach does an amazing job with the camera. He's going to do his thing regardless. I just won't be in the mood to look at them if we don't win. That's all.
They're going to be in those crispy white unis too,
with a slight red. Just a pop. What Rick Ross say?
Shout out to all the pair.
Another one.
Oh, man. Follow Zach on Instagram, zachweens.media. You can follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter. Subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Next week. Wings have bye week this week.
Okay.
But he
I
will
mixed
be.
the weeks up because we were talking about.
Yes. We were talking about next week. But he'll be there, I think, on Friday, so that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. And guess what? It's a new year, new features on Spotify. This show will be viewable on Spotify. Video version of the show will be on Spotify moving forward. We did a test run with the house show with Pat Pitts, his show, viewable on Spotify. Worked like a charm. Just a little bit longer of an upload process just because you're uploading a video as opposed to just audio. But if you want to watch the show and you're a Spotify user, you're going to be able to do that all 2026 and moving forward. Very excited about that. We're going to see if it changes anything for metrics or anything like that, but the show will be able to be listened to and viewed on Spotify, and Apple Podcast stays the same. They are just an audio platform, but you can listen to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And, of course, guys, the main one. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. We did hit both of our year-end goals, boys. We hit 1,200, and we hit our 2 times the subscriber growth output from 2024 and 2025. We're currently at that magic number, 1,234 subscribers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Be sure to subscribe. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. The Underground Sports Philadelphia channel is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week. And we will be collab featuring episodes moving forward that will show up on the OTB channel as well. So you can subscribe to OTB and you can still watch the show It's going to live on this channel, but it'll be viewable on both. Subscribe to the OTB channel, though. 16 subscribers away from the OTB College Show, rocking and rolling with Deej, Hoots, and Jackie Knight. So go subscribe over there, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. Happy New Year, boys. How we living? Deej, you have a new background to start the year. Just the perfect embodiment and encapsulation of your life is just new background. You are the Carmen Sandiego of lacrosse media. Where in the world is DJ Hughes?
Hey, that's the best part about this show is people never know where I'm going to come in from. All right. And honestly, I should have bought the Wi-Fi package in Mexico and done the pod from down there. That was an L. That was an L on my part. But you know what? It's all right. I know for next time. But nah, new background just for this 1 week. I'll be back in the regular schmegular deal next week. But it is a happy new year. 2026 is here. And I think the lacrosse gods, creators, heavens above, below, wherever they are going to bring good things to me in this year. I could be very wrong.
You could be stuck in more airports this year. Who knows?
Hey. That has nothing.
We got Airport Chronicles.
That has nothing to
Colin
do.
Colin Squires, tap in. This is your segment.
Hey,
it's Colin Squires Airport Chronicles.
To do with the creators, okay? But yes, this is what happened. My flight left Grand Rapids. Well, supposed to leave Grand Rapids at 12:40 p.m. on Wednesday, December 31st.
Ain't nothing rapid about that.
At all. So the flight that was arriving, the plane that I was going to get on, was coming from Chicago, which is where I was flying for my first leg of my flight in the layover process. That was delayed by 2.5 hours. Was supposed to leave Chicago, 10 a.m. Chicago time, 11 a.m. my time. It ended up leaving Chicago at 1:30, which is 2:30 my time. It gets to me at 3, which they were flying through the air, by the way, because, like, Jesus. 120 miles in 30 minutes is quite fast.
That's some High School Musical stuff.
Nah, flying. For real. So they get there, and for whatever reason, our flight plan has expired, which I get, right? If for people who don't fly a lot or don't know kind of how that works, air traffic control creates a flight plan for your flight, which only lasts so long because it's based off of the winds, the other flights coming in and out of the area, the weather, all of those things. So our flight plan had expired, so we had to wait for them to print a new flight plan. And then we had to wait for more jet fuel, which took 15 minutes. And then we had to get in line for the de-icer, which took another 10 to 15 minutes. So we left at about 3:30, 3:35. Maybe even 3:45 is when we actually took off from the ground. Left our gate at about 3:30. My flight was leaving Chicago to come to my desired destination at 5:15 Eastern time, which was 4:15 Chicago time. I landed Central Chicago. I don't know why I said Chicago time. Central time. I landed in Chicago at 3:56 Central time. Now, this is where it gets crazy. My next flight was leaving from gate L8. I got into Chicago at gate L7. Right across the hall, right? I didn't make it. I didn't make it. So then, since my bag got checked, because there was too many people on my original flight, not enough space, I had to go down to baggage claim and go to customer service and request my bag so that they could give it to me. And that was after I stopped at the counter and said, hey, I need to be put on another flight, just checking to make sure. She was like, oh, they already did it. I was like, I just want to verify before I walk away because it isn't showing up in my app yet. And so she checked. She was like, yeah, they got you on the next flight. It's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. I said, excuse me? She said, yeah, the next flight's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's the best I can do for you. I said, all right, thanks. And I walked away. So I went down, got my bag, and, first they had to request it. Then I sat there for about 45 minutes to an hour while it finally came. got my bag, walked back upstairs, went back through security. Then I got questioned at security because he goes, "What flight were you on?" And I told him. He goes, "It's not on my list." I was like, "Look, man, there probably aren't too many people here from my flight. I was one of the few people who missed, and the next flight for my destination is 8 a.m. tomorrow. I don't know what else to tell you." And then the other guy who was working next to him was like, "Dude, he's fine. Like, yeah, it's good. His next flight it's at our airport. Where you want him to go, bro?" Like, and so they finally let me through and everything. And then I sat in Chili's for 5 hours, watched a lot of football, got drunk, because what else do you do in an airport when it's New Year's Eve and you have nothing else to do? And then I proceeded to try and sleep overnight. And as I mentioned to you boys pre-pod, I slept for about 20 to 30 minutes before violently realizing I'm in an airport and I can't sleep for too long because I'm not safe. So yeah, I basically got no sleep that night, and then I finally was able to fly the next morning when our flight took off at 8 a.m., which got moved. Oh, that's the part I didn't tell y'all. I slept overnight at gate H6 because that is what was originally on my boarding pass. Remember when I told you I woke up and I was like, fuck. I was really tired. I was oversleeping some, and then I looked at my phone, and then I said, fuck, even louder, because it had changed from H6 to G5. So now I had to get up and walk all the way over to G5, half awake like a zombie. I get all the way to G5. G5 is going to Baltimore, Maryland. I said, I'm not going to Baltimore. And I look, and I get another notification. Your flight's now leaving from L-24. I gotta go. So mind you, all of this is in the Chicago O'Hare ORD airport. I've gone from L all the way to baggage, back through security, to Chili's, to H, to G, to go all the way back to L. And I sit at L-24 for an hour and a half for it to be 10 minutes from boarding for us to tell us, oh, yeah, we moved you guys over to L-26 now. You're going to board over there. And then we got delayed by a half an hour. And I finally got to fly home. Well, not home, but fly. And
That's insane.
the whole thing is I really ruined things because I decided to fly. I booked my flight basic economy instead of main economy. So I was going to get a one-way ticket from Chicago to my destination after I missed my flight Wednesday. But if I miss any leg of my flight, I'm considered a no-show, and then my ticket is void. So I wouldn't have been able to come back home Sunday unless I bought another ticket. So I just had to sit overnight. And if it wasn't New Year's Eve, I would have left. And I would have gone somewhere, because I have tons of family and stuff in the area, but it's New Year's Eve. So I'm either asking someone to not get drunk and not enjoy their night or not go out or whatever so they can get up at 6 a.m. and drop me back off at the airport, or ask someone to get drunk and then get up at 6 a.m. and drop me off at the airport. Both of those are bad on a New Year's Eve. I'm not ruining anyone's New Year's Eve like that. So I just sat at the airport. Arguably, the second worst airport experience I've ever had in my life. The first was at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport, where I also spent the night. Except I spent the night by myself in the complete dark. Because the security guard walked out and said, all right, have a good night. I said, sir, you're leaving? And he was already out the door by the time I got this out of my mouth. The door was locked and he was gone. I was like, great. So if I get mauled by a mountain lion in here, nobody's going to know. Because nobody's here. I didn't sleep that night, by the way, because I literally was in this entire airport by myself.
Don't you could have Home Alone that shit.
I didn't know where to go. I was terrified. I didn't know that.
You go to the security office, turn the TV on, and be like, "Say hello to my little friend."
Bro, I didn't even know where the security. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even begin to tell you where things were there. And also, newsflash. I just can't be walking around touching stuff in places. Just saying.
God damn
That
it.
wouldn't go over well for me.
New Year, same show.
Exactly. Same shitty airport experiences.
God. I just tweeted from the account. We have an all-time DJ Airport Chronicles and Tag Colin Squires in it.
Yes, this is the best one by far. He's gonna ask me what
it's so
airline I
funny.
flew. It's American, big dog. It was American. It was American.
I've heard nothing but horror stories from that airline.
And the crazy part is, I just flew to Mexico on American, and it was phenomenal. And then they turn around and do this, just 2 weeks later.
It's because you were flying in America.
Gotta get on. Hey, I'm going back. I'm a Delta guy for a reason. Delta dude. That's what I called myself. I'm a Delta dude. Damn it.
There he goes, Hoots. More free ads.
I know. What are we doing here?
Delta, sponsor the goddamn show.
Please.
Apparently they don't have to, because D's just going to say their name no matter what. He's going to have a bad travel experience and then shout them
Hey, I
out
don't even
as a
care
result.
if it's like Deej becoming an influencer and then he gets points or whatever so he can fly
Yes.
to the
Yes,
PLL.
Free
bro,
points.
That's fine with me. They ain't even got to give me a bunch of miles. Like, they can just give me like.
Nah. They got to give you some miles. They got to
Yeah,
give you
no,
some
well,
miles.
y'all-
Don't kill yourself in the
hold
negotiation.
on.
Yeah.
Y'all,
I'm gonna mute your
y'all
mic.
didn't hear me. I was about to say they got to give me like $500 every time I say their name. See, that's not a lot of
Yeah.
miles, but I can tally it up if I'm doing a story like this and I drop their name 10 times in a story. Hey, that's 50,000 miles right there. That's a quick little run up. You feel me? Like,
Delta brand people, please don't listen to this episode yet. We will have a formal
yes, we will.
sheet sent out to you.
We will put together a plan and a proposal and approach you correctly for a formal business meeting.
Good grief. What a time. What a time. Now that we're 17 minutes into the show, we can actually talk some lacrosse.
Hoots, how are you doing? Happy New Year. This is about you two. We hope that you're doing
I didn't sleep in an airport. I'm doing fantastic.
Hoots is back on his grind. Amazing photos from the
Doing a
Mammoth
bunch of stuff,
Storm
yeah.
game.
getting pushed out of the way by other people.
Yep. We'll see what happens this week,
All for
tomorrow.
the love of the game.
I was so mad when I saw that photo pop up of the celly. I was like, that was mine. That was literally mine. Like,
He was like the Yu-Gi-Oh meme. It should have been me, not him.
pretty much.
This is where I'd put my celly photo if I had one.
Yep. I have one, but it's like blurry because it's like through the glass, on the curve, so it's like all distorted. I was like,
tag
oh.
that photographer Miss Shots account.
Yeah, I was so mad.
You gotta make that that trophy case meme with Fairly Odd Parents, where he's like, "This is where all my
Dude.
trophies would go."
This is where my celly photo would be if I had one.
Yeah. I was like, well, this sucks, but all right. Thankfully, they scored enough goals to where I had enough of their cellies, but I was just like, damn,
That one was
I could use some more.
Pristine.
The one time they're facing me, I was like,
Right.
this will be great, but whatever.
As the old saying goes, it is what it is.
Yes, such is life.
We had a wild week in the National Lacrosse League last week, and our week wrap-up brought to you by our friends over at Buff. Guys, there's still time to get those incredible gifts for your loved ones this holiday season, and they got that Survivor limited edition collection with 6 exclusive buffs from your favorite seasons, all available in one collector's case. Limited time only. Use our link in the description to shop with Buff. Gear up for the winter time. Before we know it, sunshine will be back out and go back out on those hot boy walks, all that good stuff. So get yourself protected from the elements with our friends at Buff. Use our link in the description to shop with them. And we thank Buff for being a proud partner of OTB and Underground Sports Philadelphia. Last week in the National Lacrosse League, winners, Saskatchewan 10-9 over Halifax, Ottawa 16, Philadelphia 12, Las Vegas 17, Toronto 11, Georgia 12, Colorado 3, Buffalo 13, Calgary 7. We say it all the time, and Christian Del Bianco voiced it on the timeline. Saskatchewan and Halifax never play boring games. They never play boring games. It was just back and forth the entire time, and it's just another chapter of that cross-nation rivalry.
I mean, that game was so much fun to watch. I was only able to catch some glimpses of it. Pretty much I shouldn't say glimpses. I only caught the end. I was out supporting some mentees of mine who were playing basketball that weekend for their high school, so I couldn't see all of it. But the part I watched was electric. There was basically a fight, right? Like pretty much as soon as I turned on my TV. Wow, my remote. I need to relax. But yeah, the energy in this game was exciting as always. Saskatchewan coming out on top is as many people expected. We obviously said that would happen as soon as we all picked against them, and boom, it happened right in front of our eyes. But the cool thing about a Saskatchewan-Halifax game is that it's going to come down to the last 30 seconds. Like it literally does every single time they play. You know it's going to be one team down with the ball with under 30 seconds left, pulling their goalie, playing 6-on-5, and the other team sweating it out, talking like crazy, yelling, flying all over the place, hoping the ball doesn't go in, and they don't have to spend another 5 minutes battling with another team in overtime to see who scores first. I love those kind of games. The energy is what the NLL needs. This is the game that I wish was on ESPN2. That's no disrespect to my boys at all, which I'll touch on that when we get there. But this game having been on ESPN2 is like that perfect example. It's like a great example is the Colorado Avalanche and Red Wings brawl from the 90s. So many people have said like, oh, that got a lot of people into hockey because they didn't realize like how aggressive of a game it was and like how skillful it was and how there was more to the game than just being on ice and just slapping a puck around. This was one of those games for lacrosse where like people could see there's a lot of skill in this game. It's very fast. It's very aggressive. There's fighting. There's more to the game than just tossing it around and trying to get it in the back of the net. Saskatchewan-Halifax shows that every time they're on the field. They played a phenomenal game. I just wish more eyes could have seen it had it been on linear television.
Yeah, I know it was on TSN, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you got that viewership, and I mean it's 2 Canadian markets, so that's huge.
Right.
But just an all-timer, as these two teams always deliver, and you know that last, I think Adam Levy tweeted the last like almost 90 seconds of the game was just like you were on the edge of your seat, just waiting for something to happen. And then Austin Shanks buries the game winner. Against his former team, no less, and that's just like another fun wrinkle of this rivalry. But they were pretty even in this game, and I think the biggest takeaway for me is Saskatchewan was more successful on the power play in this game. They were 50% on the power play as opposed to 33% for Halifax, and Saskatchewan outshot Halifax by 11. And Saskatchewan held their own. Am I correct in saying Jake Naso was? Yes. I mean, Jake Naso held his own against Jake Withers. You know, it was almost 50% at the stripe for both teams. And at the end of the day, it's one of those games that just comes down to that final possession. And Shanksy is one of the most clutch players in the league, I think, especially when it comes to this matchup. So no surprise there that, it was another just like fun matchup between those two teams. Philly and Ottawa. You want to talk about a roller coaster of a game? This game was just like all over the place the entire time. Philly was down by, I'm trying to remember, by as much as, it was 5-2 at the end of the first, and then it was 7-4 at the end of the second, and then the Wings just went on a run. They scored, 7 goals in a row going into the fourth quarter. And took a 2-goal lead with about like 11 minutes left in the game. And then Ottawa goes on a 4-goal run. Eric Fennell scores to kind of cut the bleeding there to a 1-goal game. And I'm like, all right, like the way the Wings have played in this game, maybe they have enough. And then Jeff Teat, Rob Hellier, and Brent Noseworthy kind of just put the daggers in, and Ottawa walks away 16-12 winners. My big thing this week, and we'll start it with this game, I don't know what was going into some of the decision-making this week in terms of goaltending. Nick Rose didn't start for Toronto. Nick Demu did not start for the Wings in this game. and this is no slight to Deacon Knott. I think he's a very talented goalie, but you're early in the season and you're the Wings. You should be looking to stack wins against teams that you are capable of beating. Nick Damude gives you the best chance to win each and every week. He's one of the most talented young goaltenders in the league. I don't know what the decision-making was there, starting Deacon in a game like this. That boggled my mind when I found out that Deacon Knott was the starter. It boggled my mind that Nick Rose did not start for Toronto this week. And you see the results. When your number one goaltender's not playing, both teams ended up losing. Kudos to the offense, though, for that outburst in the third and early fourth quarter for the Wings. And, I mean, we did say on this show last week it was going to be a big Brennan O'Neill game. First career sock trick. No big deal. 8 points. 15 shots on goal. That's what I want to see from Brennan O'Neill with this Wings team. He's the guy. He's the face of the team. It's him. You know, obviously Joe Resiteritz is still in the mix, and when Joe is dishing the way that he did, Joe had 6 assists on his own. That's when this team can be successful offensively, is when you're letting the offense kind of flow through Brennan. We see it in the PLL. We're seeing it now in the early go of his NLL career. Feed Brennan O'Neill the ball, you're going to have success.
Yeah, I mean, you called it out last week that Brennan was going to have himself a game, and I made sure to give you your props on the socials as well, because you were right. And he went out, and he was a huge driving force behind this team, a true engine for the game, where, like, once he's kind of got things going, more things opened up for the rest of the offense, and guys started to have more opportunities off of the attention that they were giving Brennan. So I thought it was a phenomenal game by him and a great adjustment by the offense to run off of his energy and, you know, try and get success off of what the defense was showing them, off the attention that they were giving Brennan. But at the same time, I think, as you've mentioned before, their real problem is defense. And you saw it late in this game. As good as your offense is, like, you easily could have scored more than 12 goals. 12 goals should be able to win you a game in this league in the first place. Mm-hmm. And as good as your offense is, your defense is holding your offense back. Because now there's a lot of pressure on your offense to go out and score 13, 14, 15, 16 goals a game, which then makes you hold your stick a little tighter, second-guess shots sometimes, or even feel like a good shot that you took was a bad shot because of the predicament that you're in, which really just holds your offense back from playing at your full potential. One thing I notice as a coach is that lacrosse is an instinctual game more than anything. Like, sure, you can set things up, especially with younger levels more than higher levels. Players will, if you put them in a spot over and over, they're going to go to that spot over and over, and they're only going to do it that way. Whereas lacrosse is an instinctual game, you have to be able to go off of what is happening around you. The Wings do a great job of that offensively, but if they're worried about how many goals they have to score, some of that gets taken away because they don't feel like they can play instinctually. They have to play in this manner of, we need to do this to get this. And it really takes away from the whole product of your team as a whole, especially when you give up, like you said, 7 goals in a row. You're not going to win any game in any sport giving up that many points on possessions in a row. Like that, and to me, in basketball, that's somewhere between a 14 to like a 24-point run, depending on how many threes are hit in that time span. In football, that's like giving up, somewhere between like 28 and 42 points, depending on field goals. Like, in hockey, that's just like giving up 7 goals. Like, where in any sport can you give up that much success in a row to one team and then turn around and win? Almost never. Lacrosse is the one place you can do that because of how much runs happen in the game. Lacrosse and basketball, because it's the back and forth of runs. But Philly can't really create runs without a defense that can make stops.
Which they did go on that run. It's just they, in the fourth quarter, like, became a different team, and then they allowed Ottawa to essentially get, that was, you know, split up by the Eric Fennell goal with like 5 minutes left, to just answer a 7-goal run. And they just looked like a totally different team in the fourth quarter as compared to what they were in the second, in the third, and the early fourth. You know, the first quarter was bad. You can't give up 5 goals the way that they did. And, you know, obviously it's Jeff Teat and it's Riley O'Connor and it's Rob Hellier, but, like, this is the first time that I've been, like, disappointed in the defense, and then also seeing Deacon Knott in this situation is just, I feel like setting him up for failure because of who you're going up against. Like, those guys that I just mentioned from Ottawa are just so crafty and so diligent that when you throw a fresh-faced goalie in like Deacon Knott to go up against those three in particular, it's going to be a long day at the office, and I feel like the defense let him down. I feel like he wasn't, like, not saying he wasn't ready for the situation is not what I'm trying to say, but, like, it just feels weird that your third game of the year, you're already switching your goaltender. And to me, that's a coaching decision that I would like an answer to. So maybe we'll find that out next week.
Well, and I did just look. Demu did start. He just got chased after giving up 4 straight.
Well, they credited Deacon Knott with the start.
Well, according to the broadcast that I have pulled up here, he did not start.
That's why. Because I saw, like,
well, how long
put out.
How long was Damude in the game?
6 minutes and 9 seconds.
Yeah, and I just watched his second goal that he gave up at, what time is this? Like 13:07.
Yeah, I think you have to play so many minutes before it's considered a start.
Yeah,
so maybe he was given credit because he played 53
played,
minutes, whatever it was.
He played a majority of the game. I don't know what the cutoff is for that start versus not start, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why Deacon was given the start, is because he played 53 minutes.
I think I saw, like, graphics put out, like, congrats to Deacon Knott on his first start of the season or whatever.
I don't know.
But wait,
I will say, though, like you said, you can't give up that many goals in the first and fourth quarter.
That's what I'm trying to pull up.
Also, graphics from who? Because if it's from a select few individuals, they might have just
it was like an official like.
I was gonna say, because they might have also just been going off of like other false information they have. Like, they might have just turned the game on late and just assumed that he started.
Yeah,
and
no,
it
was
out there. So
yeah, true.
I'm pretty also not accusing anyone of doing bad work.
Yeah, I have the screenshot here of Nick Damude with the graphic that is showing like him versus Zach Higgins to start. Mm-hmm. But then I think he just got off to that wrong foot to start and just was like, it's.
I mean, you let up 4 goals in 6 minutes. I'm probably, unless they're not your fault, I'm taking you out.
Yeah.
So I just like, don't know in a game like that, it's just like feels a little reactionary.
And I mean, also what I can say from experience is it might also be, I don't like it, but the little mind game thing, because Calgary did it last year, where they were pulling Cam for what's his face? Who was his backup last year? I know his name. Oh,
I know who you're talking about.
I can't think off the top of my head right now. But you know what I'm saying? They were pulling him, and then they would put Cam back in the second half. And it was like just like almost like a refresh. So it might have also just been that, where they're like, hey, Higgs, you haven't had the worst start to the year. You haven't had the best. You definitely haven't had the best start to this game. Let's just give you a break and see if we can get things back rolling by getting a fresh face in there for a few minutes, and you can kind of just collect yourself mentally and be prepared to play again. That may also have been a thing, or they maybe just wanted to give him some time. You know how you like CYA, which you really don't have to do in the NLL, but it's like, oh, we gave you a chance and you didn't do anything. It's kind of shady to do it against these guys, but like, who else are they kind of going to put him up against? You know, like if they're going to give him a shot, like it doesn't matter who you put him up in the league, just because all the offenses are like that good. So
it's just weird, like 3 games in, that you're just like, yeah, let's go with this, and like you're on the road, you're coming off like that tough loss to Rochester that like we talked about last week. Mm-hmm. Like we didn't feel bad about that game. This is a game where I feel bad about the defense, and where I feel bad about the back end as compared to that Rochester game. Even though they lost, this is like a bad 4-goal loss for the Wings as opposed to that 4-goal loss against Rochester. Feeling like optimistic about where things can go. And it doesn't get easier because next Friday, like you're on a bye, which I think is a good spot for a bye week for the Wings. But next Friday, you're home against Rochester again. So it's like you have a quick turnaround in terms of facing that offense again. And you're going to be at home, see what happens. But this is 100% a game that the Wings should have and could have won.
Oh, yeah. They easily could have won, especially when you take that lead into the fourth quarter. You got to be able to buckle down. I guess the one thing I'll say is Philly has gotten a little bit younger this year. So some of those guys haven't been in that scenario where you're being chased down in the fourth quarter. Like, you can have the lead in the first, second, third quarter, teams aren't jacked and chasing you the way they are in the fourth quarter because time's running out. They're now giving you literally everything they have because they only have so much left. So it's a little bit harder to play with a lead in the fourth quarter, and I didn't even realize kind of the magnitude of those feelings until I got like late high school, early college. And I was like, oh, like this team's been playing hard all game, but now they're playing hard because they know this game's over in 5 minutes and this is all they have left. Like being in the lead in the fourth quarter is so much different than the rest of the game. And it's obviously different at every level too. Like the hardest that a pro can play is much different than the hardest that a college can play versus different than high school. So like every level you go up, that hardest now goes up a level too. And if you haven't seen that before, you have to adjust to it. So I think that was kind of part of it too, is for some of these Wings guys, this was the first time they were leading a game in the fourth quarter that they had a team hunting them down, and then they weren't ready for that aggressiveness that comes with it.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Ottawa. Like, their offense showed up again. But again, it's that back end. Like, you let up a 7-goal run. Like Deej said, there's not many times in the National Lacrosse League especially where you give up 7 goals in a row and you're going to come out victorious. So that's definitely, again, something that they have to clean up. But nonetheless, a good home win for the Ottawa Black Bears. Speaking of offense, Deej, maybe we were a little too pessimistic about Vegas' offense. Maybe they were ready to show up.
I wasn't too pessimistic about it. I wasn't. I chose Vegas in this game. I did.
Well, we did, but last week we were talking about after one game.
And I thought hard about it. But just because they showed up for a second game also doesn't mean that they are ready. Like, and I'm not saying that to, like, double down on what we said. I'm just saying, like, it's 2 games out of the sample size of 3. We got to see them play for a full season, get into the playoffs. Like, why do you think, like, a great – I'm able to say this because I didn't pick a team halfway through a season. I sat through an entire season and an entire playoffs and almost through an entire post off season before I picked a team, because all of those things kind of matter. So at the same point, while yes, we can make these preconceived notions and have expectations and like believe what we think they should, but we can't actually judge them until we've seen a full season's work, and then we can go, okay, this part of it was good, this part of it was bad, this is what they need to work on, this is what I think they should do moving forward. But to say, like, yeah, these were great moves right away 2 games in, I'm not going to do that, but I'm also not going to call them terrible moves either. It's just still a land of unknown, and right now they're starting to figure out some of those unknowns and put the pieces together. They looked very good on offense again. I will say that, but still, their back end has trouble. Between the pipes is still a question mark for them. Like, the problems that have been consistent problems for them still showed up in this game against Toronto. Their offense is just clicking. Like I mentioned, they turned into the new era Green Bay Packers of the NLL. Hey, defense, if you can hold them to 11, we'll score at least 12. They don't shy away. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not shying away from their problems. They know how bad their defense is. They're just asking their offense to outscore the other team. Which is, hey,
I'll say
that's
this
the name
is
of the
their
game,
best, right? This is arguably their best defensive performance in their team's history. Like,
yep.
I mean, yeah, but also
they gave up the 1 goal early, and then Vegas never looked back.
Right.
Which, like,
but
is the rarest commodity of all time. And going into the fourth quarter, it was 11-8 Vegas, and then Vegas went on a hardcore run of 5 out of 6 goals to start the quarter, and then they walk away 17-11. And again, I just have to question, because we talked about Rosie not starting, but he did come into this game. How is Nick Rose credited with the loss?
I was just about to ask that.
When Troy Halachuk played more time, gave up the same amount of goals that Nick Rose did, and had fewer saves.
How much more
and he's not credited with the loss? So Halachuk played 36 minutes and 35 seconds. Rosie played 23 minutes and 24 seconds.
So significantly more time.
Yes, but I also
I also maybe looking this
wonder,
at like my baseball pilled brain of like starter reliever,
mm-hmm.
but they gave up the same amount.
That's where we're going with starter and reliever, but I think it's based off of when the reliever comes in on if they get the loss or not. in terms of lacrosse, right? So, like, if you're a reliever and you come in the last 5 minutes of the game and you guys lose, they're probably not giving you the L. But maybe in their mind, he came in with 24 minutes left and the score was, 11-8? Or, it was around there because they went into the fourth quarter 11-8. He had to play the whole fourth quarter. So I think in their minds, they're like, hey, you had the opportunity to, quote-unquote, save this game and not lose it because you weren't getting blown out when you went in. So this is your loss. I don't agree with it, but I kind of see how that philosophy could be the case.
It's a 3-goal game going into the fourth quarter,
which he was already.
Halichuk played more than 50% of the game. He played 36 minutes and 35 seconds. To me, if you're playing more than half the game, you're on the hook for the loss.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think I'm just trying to make sense of how it could be a loss for Nick Rose, and that is
especially because Toronto never tied it again. Like, I could understand if Toronto tied it and say it's 11-11, and then Vegas goes and scores. Then I can understand Rosie being credited with the loss. But because it never got to an even standpoint after it being 1-1 when Halichuk was in, and ever since it was 1-1, Vegas led the entire way. That should be a Halichuk loss. And that's no disrespect to Troy Halichuk. That's just how my sports brain views it. It was 1-1, and then you gave up the lead. It's not like Rosie gave up the lead. He came in trailing already, trying to dig them back out of it.
Yeah.
And they were already down by 3. I just don't understand that. So if there's any of the big brains in NLL media out there that can explain this to us, because we are all baseball fans here,
I don't think they're.
I'm looking at it from a starting pitcher reliever, and more than 50% of the game is played by a goalie. You should be on the hook for the loss, especially because you gave up the lead.
I don't even think they know the answer to that, to be honest.
That's
I think
weird.
I think we would have to actually ask NLL, like the stats guys at the NLL.
That's what I'm saying. Like, big brain NLL people,
not even
let us know.
Please, somebody who legitimately knows. But my only guess on that is that there's a cap as far as this game is considered out of reach for you to have gotten the L, for you to have gotten the win. So we're not going to give you the L.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I feel like they think that to me, and also I'm not even gonna say they. I think we all think a 3-goal game going into the fourth is within reach.
Sure. So I'm also looking at it from
I understand both sides. I don't think Nick Rose should have gotten the L, but I'm just trying to make sense of the policy that they have in place that did give him the L, and that is the only thing I can come up with that does make sense. Is that they felt the game was in reach. So, he could have.
The lead was never relinquished by Nick. That's how I'm seeing it, too. It's Halichuk was always losing the entire 36 minutes and 35 seconds outside of it being 1-1.
I agree.
So, it's how does he not fall victim to bearing the weight of the loss? But maybe we're just dumb, and we don't know. But
and I guess also, does it really matter? I don't know if they I don't know how much losses are factored into, goalie stats and stuff down the road. As far as
factors into goalie of the year, if it factors into contracts.
That is where I would have a problem with it. But if it doesn't really matter because the team gets the L at the end of the day,
career stats,
wow.
I also look at it from Nick Rose, where he's a living legend, and just his career numbers and everything as he gets closer and closer to Hall of Fame status and stuff like that. But this was the most complete game the Desert Dogs have played. Shots on goal 52, 23 of 32 at the face-off stripe, 3 for 3 on the power play, only 6 penalty minutes. They were disciplined. That's an anomaly for them. They are typically a highly penalized team, so that's a good sign to see. And they progressively got better. 3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second, 5 in the third, 6 in the fourth. Credit to the Desert Dogs. This is the most complete game I think we have ever seen them play in their history.
Yeah, they look very
good. Honestly, I'm really excited to see them play against Buffalo. Because Deej was talking about, I think they still have the offense to do it, but against an offense like Buffalo, I think that's a bigger challenge for their defense in the back end. I just think Toronto's really young.
Guys that know that Buffalo back end too. To kind of
exactly.
Give you a little bit of ins and outs more so. And while we're on Vegas, it finally happened. Hoots, congratulations, Jack Hanna, going to the Mammoth.
Run the clip.
Your watch has ended. You can finally rest in peace.
I said it was going to happen.
And
it's just a matter of time.
I can congratulate you and say you were right. I just didn't want to, put that out there too early.
I didn't do anything. I just get told things somehow. I don't even know why. I never once asked for information. People started telling me stuff. But
you're like, that's
I'll
the
take
Mammoth
it.
Guy.
I guess, dude. I don't know. There must not be a lot of us out there on the Twitterverse because somehow I got told that one day, and then I was like, wait, what? Started digging. All of a sudden, there's legit stuff happening. And after a 3-goal performance, I'll take all the help I can get.
Yeah, and I mean, we won't touch on it too much, but we were talking about it pre-show. It's kind of crazy that Jack's entire contract got put on the internet.
Yeah. I don't know how that got shared or why.
Question it. I'm not
I'm not hating on anyone sharing it. I'm just saying it's kind of crazy that's where we are with Lacrosse media. I don't know how. I don't know who gave it.
You don't know how it got to that person.
Yes. Okay. I don't know.
Which we're not bashing how it got whatever,
no.
But it's just odd that all of a sudden.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm bashing it. I don't like that it's out. If I'm being honest,
I agree
because it's one thing like say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's contract comes out. Oh well, we know something about everybody who's making something in the NBA. We know more,
and their contracts are public.
We know more about the bench guy in the NBA who plays 2 minutes a game, if that, than we do about the stars in the NLL. So if we don't know anything about Lyle's contract or Dane's contract or Dylan Ward's contract or anyone else's contract at that number, then we should know about Jack's contract.
We don't even know the salary cap number.
So we definitely shouldn't know how much money Jack's making. It's just wrong. Now, do I think we should know this kind of stuff in general? Yes, this should be public information. But until it's at public information, at a more even level, across the league, then, nothing should be out at all. This feels so unfair to Jack that, now everybody knows how much money he makes, but nobody else knows how much money anybody else in the league makes.
And we will say, unless the direct source said, here you go, put this out, which we don't know. Unless it was Jack Hanna saying, hey, go ahead.
Right.
Then, whatever. And, I'm not even, bashing, how the information was delivered. It's strange, and I think it's just because we've never seen it before like this in lacrosse, either NLL, MLL, PLL, what have you. We've never seen a contract fully put in front of our faces like that, or an offer sheet in this case. And I think it's just jarring to finally see it, that it's whoa, this feels like this should not be happening.
But then again, after an offseason and talking about transparency with money,
100%.
Maybe this is just how it starts. And you don't want to start that potentially with a bench player or something like that. Maybe you say, hey, this is the hottest story in lacrosse right now. This is what it is. And maybe moving forward, this is a regular thing. If it's not, then I totally agree with what Deidre's saying, and then it's kind of weird that here's a paper document that we're just putting out there. It wasn't it was just hey, this is what I'm making. We've seen players before say I made this much in the MLL. Right. So it's that from that perspective, it is a bit jarring. But I do believe Dan Aresti also put out there that he was getting. So there's some minor details out there already.
Yeah.
So.
But we're used to minor details. We're not used to.
Sure.
Here you go.
A full-fledged government document.
Yeah,
I will say though, after hearing some of the rumors about what some of the other guys around the league were getting in the offseason, to find out what Jack was making, if Vegas wasn't willing to give him that, just saying.
And I think the Mammoth made out all pun intended here, bandits. This is a slam dunk trade for me for the Mammoth to add a guy of Jack's caliber who is in market guy, obviously lives in Denver, to have him join up with Andrew Q, to have him with Malcolm, especially after the departures of Zed and Connor Kelly, to get a guy who's 26 years old, in his prime, went to college at Denver, has won a professional lacrosse championship in his career, so you have another championship pedigree guy in the room. Not that you don't have some guys who won the NLL title with the Mammoth, but Dylan Ward, I'm sure, was banging the table for Jack, being that they're teammates with the Water Dogs, and he knows Jack very well. I think it's a home run trade because, as we've said time and time again, like especially in a sport like lacrosse, draft picks are such an unknown commodity. It's not like the NFL where like you move up in the draft and you're able to trade for players that are known commodities, and then those draft picks, they end up becoming superstars or blue chip players for you. It's a lot of unknown and uncertainty right now. It's very similar to baseball, but you can trade your picks in the NLL. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know where teams are going to finish by the time a season is over. Like, I think if you ask at the time the New York Riptide if they would have traded that pick, if the Mammoth would have traded that pick to the New York Riptide and then the Riptide traded that pick to the Wings, they would have gone back and not done it because then the Ottawa Black Bears would have Brennan O'Neill right now. The Colorado Mammoth could have Brennan O'Neill right now. Like, it's one of those things that you don't know how it's all going to shake out. So the fact that you get a Jack Hanna who has NLL experience, is 26 years old, and you can team him up with offensive talented superstars like Q, like Malcolm, like in this Mammoth organization for, what was it, 2 draft picks?
3 draft picks.
3 draft picks, and like one is like a compensatory pick, so like
basically a second rounder
right
on that one as well.
That's a no-brainer for me if I'm the Mammoth.
Yep, and I also like that this doesn't give them any excuses anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, we've been hearing about it for a while. Okay, now the only thing they can say is if Q's not playing, which he's questionable this week, so we'll see. But like, at this point, you have stars on offense. There's no excuse to not score. Along with this, we saw Ben McDonald get released. You add TJ Camizio back as well. So now there's legitimately no excuse. Like, if you guys are bad, you're just bad. And at least when you have a guy like Jack, you can kind of say, like, well, we have the stars.
Yeah, I mean, Coyle went scorched earth on the team in the press conference.
The stuff people saw on socials is a very, very small part of what he said. Is all I will say. It was not pretty.
I wish I could have heard more of what my coach.
I got the video. I'm not posting the full video, but I can send it to you. It was
that, and I want to know what Calgary's coach had to say. I want to hear more.
That was wild too.
I want to hear more of what he had to say because he was not holding back either.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
it was basically that whole rant for Coyle as well.
Yeah,
things like our personnel is not good enough. Maybe the guys in the room just aren't. At one point, he was going off about veterans shooting into the goalie's chest. I mean, stuff that I was just like, holy, like, and it was one of those things too where like the Jack Hanna thing got announced mid-game when they're getting destroyed. And so like, it's not national news, obviously, so no one else in the arena really knows. I'm not going to ask about that in a presser that we just lost by 9 goals.
Right.
And then you hear him say, maybe our personnel's not good enough, and I'm like, well, I'm assuming he knew at that point, like, you're getting some reinforcements. But then again, you see the shakeup happen immediately of Ben McDonald getting released and stuff like that. And even in this game with Georgia, like, for some reason, like, Jameson Bucktooth started over Vela. Owen Ron got his first start on offense as well over Braden Saris. So it's like stuff like that that's like, I'm not sure why they kind of started that week 3 to make those changes.
There's weird coaching decisions all week. Like,
yeah, and like and for the like
you guys,
there were people that were talking about like Dylan Ward, like the whole trade Ward thing's coming back again, which is the dumbest thing of all time. The reason he didn't start the fourth quarter, which Pat Coyle said, was just that he felt the game was out of reach, and there's no point in like hammering Dylan Ward in net when we could just say, hey, let's give our young guys some reps. Like, the game, we were already down by whatever it was. There's just no point. Like, it was a tough third quarter for him for sure, but also if you watch that game, transition was awful. I mean, Mike Manley scored a goal. Mm-hmm. Like, there was no attempt to get back on defense. There was no attempt to rebound shots. Anyone who watched that game with a brain that isn't just a fair weather kind of fan with rose-colored glasses on saw it happen. Like, and like we were talking about, I mean, Lyle Thompson had 1 goal in this game. And I know he's battling a bit of an injury, but like, you mean to tell me you held Lyle to 1 goal and you lost?
By 9?
I mean, Mike Manley had 1 goal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just stuff like that. I mean, Richie Connell, shout out to him.
They lost by
2 goals. 9. Again, it was ridiculous. Caleb Benedict, dude. People didn't even know Caleb Benedict's name.
They lost a big number 9.
Awful.
And y'all said
not much to say.
I only had one of them, Johns? Dang. He had no assist.
I mean, he had 3 assists, but
the
yeah.
Mammoth got shut out not only in one quarter, they got shut out for an entire half.
They ain't do the 15, John. They did the 30 piece.
They didn't score the entire second half, Deej.
It was 4-3 at the half.
Not the 30 piece. By a team that just got 30 piece themselves the week before.
And don't get me wrong, I'll sing the Brett Dobson praise all day, every day, every season. But we made him look like invincible. A lot of the shots we were taking, he didn't even move, which is the second week in a row that I've seen that.
Hey, and I do want to.
Shane Jackson also only had 1 goal in this game. He had 4 assists, but 1 goal.
Yep.
I do want to shout out Georgia for finally stepping up for Brett Dobson and winning a game that he had a phenomenal game in. If y'all don't want him, by all means, y'all can trade him to Calgary. Because if we only need 5 goals to win a game, we can do that. We've shown every game this year we can score that. So if y'all having trouble scoring that, and y'all would rather score 12 goals a game to win a game, you can take Aiden Walsh off our hands. I mean, that seems like a pretty fair trade to me. Works in both of our favors here. You call me, I'll make some calls and see what we can do. That's all I'm saying. Or you can just respect Brett Dobson and what you have behind you and win some games and score some goals for the guy. He's only asking you to score 5 a game. He ain't asking you to score more than that. Get it together, my peoples.
Am I also being reactionary here that we, through 3 games, should be throwing Michael Grace's name in the Rookie of the Year conversation already?
He should. He looks good.
He looks
Okay,
awesome.
so when we talk about what these awards mean to us, yes, we absolutely should have Michael Grace in the conversation.
In the definition of the OTB version of Rookie of the Year.
If we're talking in the world version, Michael Grace isn't sniffing the Rookie of the Year yet. I think he would have to play at this statistical pace the entire season. Like, literally the entire season. Like, he will not be able to have a game or 2. He might be able to get away with a game off, but he's not going to be able to get away with, like, 2 or 3 bad games. Just because of how everybody views, like, transition and defense versus forwards. Like
6 loose balls, 3 caused turnovers, and a goal in this game. That's a great day at the office.
It's a phenomenal day at the office. For anybody. Not even just him. Anybody.
Which I'm going to try to pull up his overall stats.
They should look pretty good so far this year.
Because he's been awesome. And I feel like I'm about to start calling Brian Grace Stan 48 instead of Pacino Stan 88 whenever we talk about this.
No, you the first Grace Stan. You the one that was waxing poetic about him going to the Wings, and then he all of a sudden didn't end up there because of Brennan.
R.I.T. legend.
You were like, yeah, this guy's great. He's going to be Wings. He's going to be our first big D guy in forever. Oh, pause.
Whoa.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
At least I caught myself. Hey, I caught myself this time. It is a new year. Normally, you got to call out pause because I'd just be rambling. He was supposed to be that first, like, strong, big body defenseman that you guys had in a long time. And now he's in Georgia doing all the things that you said he would do for Philadelphia, just in a Swarm jersey.
Game 1, 4 assists, 6 loose balls, 2 caused turnovers.
I wish there was an easy way to look at rookie stats.
I think you can on Graham Perro's website.
Okay, Graham.
Game 2, goal and an assist, 8 loose balls, 3 caused turnovers. And their game against Saskatchewan, 5 loose balls, 1 caused turnover. Hey, we might be the show that starts the national campaign for Michael Grace Rookie of the Year. Through 4 games already. I think he's worthy to be in the conversation at the very least. He's been incredible. And Deej, Buffalo just did what Buffalo does. 13-7, they beat Calgary. I felt bad. You were so optimistic. First goal on the board, and then Buffalo was like, nah, we got a 4-goal run in us.
Yeah, it went downhill quick. I was hoping that, my little extra motivation and excitement I was having at home would somehow telepathically make its way over to Calgary to help out in the home opener. I thought the home opener would help a little bit too. They would have a little more energy finally being at home and in front of that crowd, and just wasn't enough. I mean, Buffalo's good. But what I will say is I liked the offensive success in this game. There wasn't a ton. I mean, 7 goals against Buffalo isn't a ton, but it's a lot at the same time. And you could see that the offense had no problem scoring the ball, really, other than really good Matt Vince saves. They had no problem finding their spots to take good shots. They had no problem creating offense. They felt comfortable running in the fast game or slowing it down and running a half-set offense. Like, the offense was very comfortable in this game, and it has continued to get more comfortable throughout the season. It's just the defense in the pipes. Like I mentioned pre-pod, the only big name on the defense is Eli Salama. And everybody else is relatively young / unproven and is trying to figure out how things run in the NLL. And then between Aiden Walsh and Cam McLeod, they just can't really stop enough balls. Like, it's not that the shots are like these crazy shots that they just can't save. It's just sometimes they're in positions where they're getting a lot of guys right on the doorstep all alone, or they're getting screened and they just can't see the shot, and they're giving up more goals because of good offense. It happens. You just have to get better. Either they need to trade out and go get a better goaltender, or you go get a better goaltending coach and you make your goaltenders better. Something's got to happen between the pipes. I think that's the real weak point. I think transition and defense are slowly starting to put it together as the weeks go on, because it's really just more a chemistry game, but there's not much you can do between the pipes other than train for it or get better.
I mean, we said it during the draft process, and more people are starting to say it. Defensively, yes, Eli Salama's there, but Kyle Pepper's a fucking dog.
Pepper scored this game too. I was very, very impressed with Pep's game.
He's been unbelievable to start his career. When you have that as like a...
K-Pep can always get a spot around here.
When you have that type of young player injected into your defense like that right away, it's only going to continue to get better. So, very impressed with him so far to start the year. But that brings us to the standings here. Top of the table, Rochester 2-0. Saskatchewan is 3-1. Halifax, Vegas, Vancouver, Buffalo all 2-1. Ottawa, Georgia are 2-2. San Diego's 1-1. Colorado's 1-2. Philly's 1-2. Toronto's 1-2. Oshawa 1-3, and Calgary 0-3.
You know, actually, let's not do anything about our goaltending.
Here he goes.
Let's not do it.
Why is that?
About our goaltending. Actually, no, we need to do something about our goaltending. We need to do something about our goaltending right now. We talked about this last week. I'm not going to tell the people why, but something needs to happen right now. Actually, maybe we should tell the people. Who has Calgary's #1 pick next year? Toronto. Because, we traded it for Nick Rose. So, if Calgary ends up at the bottom, who gets the #1 overall pick again next year? Toronto. Who are they going to draft? Joey Spallina.
Collusion.
So, if anybody wants...
It's cold outside, allergy season.
If anybody wants to send, their really good goaltender on a loan to Calgary for, I don't know, 6...
What is this, Premier League?
6 weeks, 8 weeks, just so we can grab a couple wins and get out of the basement. Hey, we're here and available.
Oh, it's so funny. Want to loan out the goalie? It's the Goofy meme. I'll fucking do it again.
I swear.
Hey, all it takes is a first.
Whoa! Nah. We'll give him a second and a third this time.
Shit.
Good old.
Based on what y'all gave up for Nick
the
Rose.
way they're stockpiling picks, Nick Rose is about to be in Vegas before we know it.
Hey, 2-3 for the GOAT. 23. You know how it go. Come on. They could take a second and a third for that.
So
We've learned our lesson. You can't hit us with the same tricks.
Oh, gosh. Week 6 in the NLL. Still not a full slate of games. We have one next week, but not a full slate, but still a great slate of games coming up this week in the NLL. Got one game Friday primetime, 8 p.m. Eastern, Halifax at Saskatchewan, so we get the home-and-home split of one of the best rivalries in the league. Then on Saturday, 2 games at 7, Ottawa at Oshawa. T's and P's of the broadcasters there, having to mouth through Ottawa and Oshawa on the broadcast the way that they're going to have to.
They're not going to do that.
They're
not going to do that.
Terrible.
They're gonna say Ottawa and Firewolves.
They're gonna say Ottawa because that's how they abbreviate OBB. Shout out Hutton Jackson.
Yeah, no, they're gonna say Ottawa and Firebirds, or just Black Bears and Firebirds. Am I right?
Firewolves. You're mixing the Thunderbirds and the Firewolves. The adjective animals.
Bro, all these goddamn adjective animals, bro. We ain't got time for this. How about we pick real? Mascots? You know, Black Bear. That's cool. That actually exists. I've seen a few of mine in my life. It's scary. A Firewolf is not a thing.
Thunderbird's kind of gas though.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be terrified of a Thunderbird? If it was like a real thing. Like,
bitch, what am I, Percy Jackson?
Like the seals are cool. Those are real. Art.
Bro, all
right. Speaking of adjective animals, also at 7 Eastern, the Vegas Desert Dogs.
Not real.
And the Buffalo Bandits. 9 p.m. It's a battle of Hoots' children, his League Pass team, the Rochester Nighthawks, and the Colorado Mammoth. You'll be in the building, right?
Yes, I will.
That'll be a fun one.
Gang.
And then 10 Eastern, Calgary at San Diego. Zach will be in the building for that one, I'm pretty sure. So we'll have a plethora of photos this weekend in the NLL. What are we looking most forward to this week? I think these are all great matchups, honestly, outside of one game because it's so much of an unknown with one team coming off their bye, and that is the Oshawa Firewolves and their ability or lack thereof to score. But I think the rest of these games are fireworks across the board in terms of what these games can end up looking like.
Rochester, Colorado should be fun. Mostly, I like the why are you looking like that, bro?
Nah, keep going. It's all good.
I am personally excited to see Jack Hanna step into this offense and see kind of just his first footing and looks in that jersey and offense, and you know, if he gives them any excitement moving forward.
New year, I'm about to die.
But I always like watching Rochester, especially as our League Pass team. And, you know, you got Connor Fields up there, and everything they've done as one of the more exciting teams. But they also don't really blow anybody out often. So I also think that's why it's going to be as exciting, is they kind of let teams hang around. And with some exciting changes happening in Colorado, they may have the energy to hang around a little bit. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. I just think there's a chance for this game to be pretty solid. Vegas and Buffalo, we all know why that one's going to be good. You got guys coming back to Buffalo for the first time ever. Some of those guys have never played on another team and are now playing somewhere else. So that's going to be exciting. Obviously, you know which game I'm most excited for. I ain't even got to say it. I just hope we fucking win.
Who do they play?
Some bums out west. I just hope we win.
Chill, that's our good personal friends.
I know, they my dogs. But at the same time, there's some bums this weekend because it's ops week. And they keep stealing people from us. So, yeah, they're bums. I hate them.
I mean, your team is just the San Diego Seals farm system.
Yes. And then
basically a minor team.
And then they all leave and get signed by the Vancouver Roughnecks. So it's fine.
Yeah. It's just a never-ending loop.
Yeah, that's all we're good for.
They built the loop out west.
Hey, and then obviously Halifax and Saskatchewan going back at it again should be more fun as well.
And we do have the injury report as we're recording this. Some notable names on that. Coltrane Tyson all-name team is doubtful for Buffalo. Zach Belter's questionable. Griffin Hall is out for Calgary. Andrew Q, like Hoots mentioned, is questionable for Colorado. Brett Craig is out. George is on a bye week. Bo Hunter is questionable. He's been on IR to start the season. Halifax will be missing Thomas Hogarth and Trevor Smith. Vegas, Chase Frazier, Connor Kirst, Tony Malcolm, all questionable. Ben Sonnen is out. Obviously for Oshawa, Joe Nardella out for the year. Matt Marinier is questionable. Vaughn Harris is out. Travis Longboat is questionable. Philly's on a bye week. Rochester, Tyler Biles is questionable. Rylan Reese is out. Chris Cav and Corey Small and Kellen LeClaire are all questionable for San Diego, as is Cam Accione. Adam J is out for Saskatchewan, and then Toronto and Vancouver are on bye weeks. Maybe get Chris Cav with the Seals. That'd be kind of sweet. Yeah, I mean, my biggest question coming out of their bye week is Oshawa going to be able to score? They lead the league in least goals. They're averaging 5.25 goals per game this year, on the backs, really, of Ty Kurtz and Alex Simmons. I think this is the week where, like, Dyson and Ethan Walker need to put up or shut up. Like, they need to show up in this game. This is a winnable game for them. If they're clicking, they can go toe-to-toe with what Jeff T and Hellier and Riley O'Connor can do. But if they're gripping their sticks too tight and they're still coming out and not being able to put balls in the back of the net, Deej, we said it a couple weeks ago that it was getting late early. It's going to be week 6, and they're going to be 5 games in. And if they're sitting at 1-4, I know we've seen them dig themselves out of a hole before, but they've already let them walk out the door. Kyle Jackson's not walking through that door.
Oh, here you go. No, I'm talking. But no, it's close or slowly reaching that alarms. You know, we're getting close to the alarms section. Not quite panic button section, but alarms. Like, you need to ask yourself questions. Okay, did we make the right decisions maybe letting some guys go? Did we make the right decisions bringing some guys in? Who can we possibly go after now to shake things up? How do we address this current team and maybe wake up their minds and get them motivated to do some things that they aren't currently doing? What is it that's not going wrong right now? Or not going right now, excuse me. I guess you could look at it either way, depending on how you want to look at it. But, you know, what isn't going right? Like, what do we have to address and fix, and then go about fixing it? But then if you don't go about fixing it, the panic button is only a couple of weeks away after that. So I think this is basically a must-win for them.
Yeah, and I mean, can we also just talk about Vegas? Like, they have the most blah jerseys with the black and white. There's no, like, aura about them. But then they do these specialty jerseys, and I'm like, why can that not be their regular jersey or their regular color scheme? Like, I just, it drives me nuts that they are just, like, so blah, and there's no, like, substance to their uniforms. That's my game of the week. My Riverside game of the week, which we'll talk about Riverside in a second, our lovely recording system, is Vegas-Buffalo. Vegas going into Buffalo for the first time with 2 former, you know, essentially career-long Bandits. Obviously, Kluch was drafted by the Wings and played a couple games with them his rookie year, but spent the majority of his career in Buffalo before signing with Vegas this offseason. Mitch Jones, obviously former Bandit as well. Like, that game has the potential to be one of the highest scoring games we've ever seen, simply because we don't know what to expect from Vegas's back end, and just with the offensive firepower that both teams have. Like, I'm curious what the over is in this game, because I am very intrigued to smash it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know though. Vegas held their own last week defensively, but I, again, like I said earlier, I do think this will be more of a challenge. I also think it'll be more of a challenge for their offense as well, which makes me wonder if it will end up being kind of a lower scoring game for what we've seen from Vegas. But again, it's going to be the best game of the weekend, maybe closely trailed by the Halifax-Saskatchewan game, which would be kind of cool to see Halifax come back and get one by a goal. Maybe meet later on in the playoffs for the third, you know, tiebreaker, which would be sick.
Let's see. The Vegas Bandits over-under is 23.5.
That's kind of low.
Mm-hmm. I'm also very intrigued and inclined to take the under.
I say, what are the odds looking like right now? No, what are the odds looking for that Buffalo game on the over-under?
It's 23.5, minus 115 both ways.
Minus 115 both ways?
Yeah.
Smash the under. Smash the under. I don't think they're hitting. Because even if you give Buffalo 16 goals, you're asking Vegas to score 9?
Well, 8.
Can they do that?
I think so.
I think so. As long as Chase is
I kind of like
good to go.
At 115, I kind of like the under. I mean, shit, honestly, you could, at 115 on both ways, just place an even bet both sides. Or a slightly cheaper bet on one side or the other that you feel may not hit. The odds aren't terrible on either side, but I kind of feel like it could go lower. Buffalo hasn't been having like a lot of like high-scoring games. Even their game last weekend against Calgary was 13-7. Like, that's only 20.
Yeah.
And then the game before that they played was Halifax. That was 17 in a 9-8 game. Their one game against Georgia was 26 at 15-11. That was week 1. The rest of their games have been under 20, really, 20 and under.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, well. Good thing I don't bet. This is why I don't bet.
I do like the under in
out of it.
the Black Bears Firewolves. Under 20.5 is like speaking to me. But yeah, my Riverside game of the week is Vegas and Buffalo. Hoots, what do you got this week?
I'm going to take that Halifax-Saskatchewan game just because I think that's a very, very even matchup. Mm-hmm. And I think both offenses can score. I think both defenses are good. Both goalies are good. Like, that's, again, going to be a game that's going to go down to the wire, in my opinion. I think Vegas and Buffalo will be a fun one, but I do kind of still have some questions about Vegas just early on. Again, I'm pretty heavy on Ottawa, pretty heavy on Roch. I think the last game actually could be pretty fun, too, with Calgary and San Diego. I don't think either team has really high expectations right now, but because of that, I think that gives both teams an opportunity to put on a show. With a lot of goals, and especially if like Chris Cav plays, if Pat Cav plays, obviously the field fans will love that. So I like that game too. But that first game Friday night, tonight is just going to be a crazy one, I think.
Yeah, I think y'all are sleeping on the last game of the weekend. Once again, for me, it's going to be the bookends for me again this week. I really like the Halifax-Saskatchewan matchup, as I mentioned last week, for all of the same reasons. But pretty much kind of for what Hoots just mentioned, the last game of the weekend arguably has potential to be the best one. Neither one of these teams have been good on the defensive end. Neither one of their goaltenders have been good. But the bright spots for both of these teams have been their offenses. We actually could get a classic, like, 18-16 game. And everybody's just going to be like, what happened? And I'm just going to go, 2 teams who don't have a goalie. Like, the pipes are just wide open, basically. That's what I could see happening in this game, or it could be the exact opposite. It could be 2 teams who know kind of that they're very similar to each other, and we could get a game that turns out to be like a 10-9 barn burner. Like, I think this has a lot of potential to be a very good game just because of how similar the teams are in their trajectory for the season so far. I think they're built very differently, but their trajectories are going the same way. And the face-off matchup is phenomenal in this game. Trevor against Justin Ignacio, I'll take it every day of the week. So obviously that game has some chance. And then I think you guys are spot on with the Vegas and Buffalo game. Has a very good chance of being a good game as well. I'm just not as excited as, the bookends, which I think provide a great start and ending to the week.
Yeah. And our games of the week brought to you by our pals at Riverside. If you're watching the show on Spotify or YouTube, we record this show in Riverside now. We have been so thrilled since we've made the switch with just the audio quality improvements, the built-in editing software, what we're able to do to get clips out for you guys so much faster and more efficiently. Riverside has truly been a game changer for us over the last month or so. Get your podcast looking and sounding pristine with Riverside. Like, if you haven't made the switch yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's truly been a game changer for us, and I have been thrilled with everything we have just been able to do with what Riverside provides. And if you're looking to just make sure your podcast is looking and sounding pristine, you got to use Riverside. Use our link in the description to get started with Riverside today and make sure your podcast is the best it can be with our pals at Riverside. Last bit of NLL news, too, before we get to picks. I don't know if you guys had anything on it. It seemed to just get the people talking. Max Adler is back. Shout out to our guy. Going to the Vancouver Warriors. A lot of discussion about whether or not Buffalo still owned his rights, this, that, and the third, but he is back in the National Lacrosse League after retiring a couple years ago, and will be suiting up for Vancouver, I would assume, next week against Calgary.
No, good to see him back.
Yeah.
I know. Stath should be back. I think by March 1st was the date that I saw. So I mean, hey, get him a couple paychecks, play lacrosse again for a few weeks.
Stath again?
Apparently, it's a knee and shoulder injury. But I don't know when that happened or what it was.
Let him just rest.
Yeah, wait till the playoffs and then just
let him rest.
Come on back.
I'm sure that hurt. But I'm glad to see him back in the league. He's going to my league pass team for the year, the Vancouver Roughnecks. So he might bring them some success, and it'll be nice to see him go to battle with J.I. when they play each other. So I'm here for it. And Adler's always a great guy to have on any team and in any locker room. So I'm sure he'll only add to what they got going up in Vancouver.
Always been good to us too. So shout out to Max Adler. Them flights are going to be crazy because he works at ESPN.
Someone said he lives in California now.
Oh, he does?
Someone said that. I've never talked to Max. I have no clue.
I mean, if he worked for ESPN, he probably either A, lives in California or Connecticut.
Because I know he was in Connecticut, and he's from Connecticut, I want to say. I could be wrong there.
Yeah, I think he is from Connecticut. I feel like he's one of Dan's guys. Dan be
and he's close with
Connecticut guys.
He's close with Kyle Jackson too, and they're based in Connecticut and everything. So,
yeah.
But shout out to Max Adler. Good to see him back in the league. Let's get to our picks of the week. Head on over to the pick pond, feed some ducks. It is brought to you by our awesome pals over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, and Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood Beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. Hoots, you had a pretty solid week last week in terms of picks. You went, 3-2. Deej, you went 1-4.
Want to see me do it again?
Oh.
And I went 2-3. On the week. So Hoots, that puts you at 12-10. Deej, you are at 7-15, and I am at 10-12 on the season. But we get started Friday night, Halifax, Saskatchewan. Hoots, who you got in the second coming of this matchup, this time out in Saskatoon?
I'm taking Halifax to get their lick back. I think it's going to be a close game. I like Sask as well in this game, but I just think having that 1-goal loss, especially getting beat by your former player, is going to sting a little bit. And Warren Hill, again, hasn't lost a step from the week, first game, second game. So, yeah, I'll take Halifax.
Deej?
I really like all the points you just made. And it's hard to beat a team twice. But I'm going to contradict myself and go with Saskatchewan. A lot of times I pick against a team and they win. You don't get many times to avenge yourself against that same team shortly after. So I'm going to avenge myself and say that Halifax will not avenge themselves. And Saskatchewan will win back-to-back against the same squad.
It's getting tougher and tougher as the weeks go on to pick against Warren Hill in particular, the way he's playing. Not that Frank Scigliano's playing poorly either, but when you're giving up a league low 6.65 goals per game, it's tough to like want to say, oh, this is the week the dam finally breaks. So until I see the dam break, even without Hogarth, even without Trevor Smith, I'm going to go with Halifax to get the dub and kind of split the home and home back-to-back weeks. Which then brings us to Oshawa, and I feel like we're all going to be on the same page here until further notice. I'm going with Ottawa because they have guys who can score. Oshawa right now cannot score. So until I see them score, I'm picking against them, and I'm going with Ottawa.
I mean...
Yep.
I have no reason to pick against Ottawa at this moment. I guess I have more reason to pick Ottawa at this moment after we were just talking, and 3 of their scorers are in the top 20 in the entire league. Granted, that's kind of the only 3 guys they got, but when you score at the volume they're scoring at, and you're playing against a team like Oshawa who has been struggling to score, you might only need 3 guys. So I'm going to trust the consistency of Ottawa to take down Oshawa. That's going to be
which we did say last week when we all picked Halifax. We did retroactively, and I think we should all get like a tie in our records with an asterisk next to it because we did congratulate Saskatchewan on winning last week.
Yep.
So congrats to Oshawa. You may end up winning this week.
That's not how we doing that. We're not doing that. We got no asterisks, no ones, no nothing. We lost. There's no other ways to cut the pot.
We vocally won.
Nah, we ain't doing that. We lost. Is that it? All right? Hey.
Have some fun. New year, new fun.
I know you ain't talking to me about fun right now. I'm having a whole bunch of fun.
Yeah, you're supposed to be the vibes and smiles officer.
I'm having a whole bunch of fun.
You're over here like Burgermeister Meister.
Because
no ties.
Because you're trying to do vibes and smiles the wrong way. You don't get to change things to create your vibes and smiles. You have vibes and smiles regardless of what is happening. I.e., me being 7.
Shout out Rob Deerdeck.
I.e., me being 7 and 15. And vibes and smiles. Who cares if I lost? Calgary's going to get it done this week. Said it too early. Go ahead. Move on.
Don't worry, I already got that on the graphic for you.
Oh, I knew you did. You know what time it is.
Vegas at Buffalo. Deej, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be eating nachos like that.
Yep. I don't really be picking against Buffalo like that. But I just did last week, so I ain't really gonna do that again. Let me get Buffalo to win.
Hoots, who you got?
If you know, you know.
I'm also taking Buffalo.
I'm like torn on this game, and the biggest thing is just it's Matt Vince versus an open dam. So give me Buffalo. But I do think this is going to be the highest scoring game of the week, potentially. Which takes us to Rochester, Colorado. Rochester looks like a championship favorite right now. Zed Williams returns to Colorado. I'm gonna go with Rochester, but I do think this game is gonna be ultra competitive, and I'm very excited for it. It will be on my television for sure. Give me Rochester to get the dub, though. They just look like an unstoppable force right now.
League pass team, Rochester. Give me the Nighthawks, baby. I don't think this one's even close for me. I do want this game to be close, but I don't think it's close. I think Rochester runs away, but personally, I would love to see this game be like a 3-goal game and like for it to be somewhat tight and for us to get a solid matchup, and hopefully Jack Hanna has a great debut.
I would like to be the first to congratulate the Colorado Mammoth on a victory over the Rochester Nighthawks, because I am taking the Rochester Nighthawks. Shout out the boys. They're going to get it done since we all picked Rochester.
Oh, that's so
Let's
funny.
go.
Which takes us to the nightcap, 10 Eastern on Saturday. Calgary at San Diego. You want to talk about high scoring, pretty low-level goaltending from these two teams to start the year, but very exciting offenses, no less. And if we get both Cav brothers on the floor for this game, plus Corey Small potentially back, that injects a little bit of life into this San Diego offense. my X factor for this game is simply the guy after week 1 that I threw into the MVP race that we should have had preseason. I'm just very big on Trey LeClaire this season, and I think he's such an X factor player from an offensive perspective, from a transition perspective, and when you have who will inevitably be the greatest to ever do it at the face-off stripe going for you, I'm going with San Diego. Say the line, Deej.
I ain't even got to say it, because you fake. I ain't even going to call you hater. That's fake. Dog. We just talked pre-pod about some things that I'm not going to bust you out for.
Whoa. Pause.
All right, if you want to snitch on yourself and tell the people what you said about said team before the pod, you can, but I'm not going to do that.
I must be getting old because I don't even remember.
You've been old, so that...
Here he goes.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is that's crazy. That is some fake. That's a real piece of work. Give me Calgary. Just
show me they can win.
Just know you a hater. You a hater. You a real hater. You want Toronto to get the number 1 pick, don't you? That's great.
Yeah, because I want that team to have every piece of successful lacrosse.
I see what you own, bro.
Ever.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy work.
I want the PGA Tour owner to...
Hey, we are so funny.
Fuck out of here.
I know you don't, bro, but that's how you acting right now. You are such a hater. Honestly, I'm starting to think that you pick against them just to hear me call you a hater.
Hey,
I don't even think it's...
We'll see next
It ain't even personal at this point. You're not even trying to be methodical.
They need to show me they can win.
No, you just like hearing me call you a hater, getting me ruffled. That's all right.
I fucking hate it because you get ruffled. You got fucking ridges over there like a goddamn potato chip.
Hey, they were named after me. You ain't know that.
I feel like everything you say is named after you. Oh, goddamn.
I'm just a walking...
Hoots, who you got?
I don't even know. Let me just take the spread, because goodness gracious, I have no...
He said, give me the over.
I was getting ready to pick y'all, but if I'm gonna be called fake, I might as well just go.
I said, are
go
you
San
about
Diego?
To be fake? That's what I said.
But I'm gonna take Calgary.
Thank you for sticking to your word, like a noble man.
Because as much as I want to pick San Diego, I don't. With all their offensive changes, I don't know how they're going to score the ball. And if Chris Cav plays, or, if Corey Smoff, like all these ifs, and I'm just like, I don't know that they're going to put the ball in the back of the net enough. And like we said, with O'Riggs not being on top of his game a ton, like Tanner Cook, Noah Manning, Tyler Pace, I think they could put up a lot of goals. So I will take Calgary this week.
So there you have it. Deej has Saskatchewan, Ottawa, Buffalo, Rochester, Calgary. Hoots, you have Halifax, Ottawa, Buffalo, Rochester, and Calgary. I've got Halifax, Ottawa, Buffalo, Rochester, San Diego. And those are the NLL Week 6 picks of the week, brought to you by Kenwood Beer. Just a couple PLL free agency news and notes to touch over, brought to you by our awesome PLL app code. Guys, download the PLL app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and keep up to date with everything going on in PLL free agency. Tons of player movement, transactions to pay attention to, all that good stuff. It's all available in the PLL app. It's a gamified app, too, so you earn experience points for accomplishing tasks in the app each and every day, which level you up to get perks in the PLL shop. You get ESPN Plus access and so much more. So download the PLL app, and when you go to the redeem code section, type in OTBPOD. That's OTB Pod, and you get 500 XP on your account. So again, download the PLL app. Keep up to date with PLL free agency and everything going on throughout the league in the PLL app. Some of the latest news and notes that have come out were just a lot of like official moves. Christian Scarpello officially heading to Carolina, as is Liam Burns. Eli Gobrecht is on the move. He is headed from the Water Dogs to the New York Atlas. The other move that I think I saw here was... that might have been it, actually. Those were the three big, finally official moves. Everything else kind of slow-paced this holiday season. There was a transaction. The Whipsnakes released Alex Mazzone to the player pool, so he is available now as well. And I think that is everything. John Geppert is retired. I don't know if we touched on that when it actually happened, but he's officially retired.
Oh.
And
that's new information to me. A lot of this is new information to me because, as I've explained to y'all like 5,000 times, my Twitter feed is nothing but Michigan basketball and has been for like 2 months. So like I can't escape it right now because of how good they are. So I literally like don't see enough lacrosse content right now. So
I mean,
the pod be catching me up.
Looking at what Chaos has done this offseason in particular, I've been pretty intrigued by the way that Colsey and Spencer Ford are building that roster out. You know, you add a guy like Liam Burns to Jared Newman and Jack Rowlett, like that finally feels like they have like the three pieces in place so long as Liam is healthy on that defense to, you know,
I don't think
do what they did when Johnny Surdick was back.
I don't think Burnsy plays down low.
Really?
I think they make him play up top and they leave Bowen down low.
Bowen retired. It's Levi Birch.
I would leave Levi down low, personally. I just think Liam Burns has more of a transition mindset than what they currently have, and skill set. Not that those guys, not that those guys can't do it, but like when you look at Liam and what he offers, that is.
They liked Levi at LSM a ton last year, so I don't know if they want to keep him there because I feel like Liam at this stage of his career too, where he's been a year and a half.
But who was the
PLL?
starting third D for them?
Jack Posey, who's now in Maryland.
Was that their consistent starter?
It was a rotation between Posey. Levi only played a couple games on defense. And look at their roster. They traded for Scott Smith.
I don't know.
And then it was Troy and Levi.
Maybe he plays down there. I don't know.
I like that move a lot for them. Christian Scarpello is we talked about their short stick D-middies a ton last year. I like that move a lot for them. I think Christian's going to get a ton of burn for them. Perk is back. They add Nick Turn to the mix. I really like the way that their offseason is going.
No, yeah, they've made a lot of good moves, and I think they've made necessary moves based off what were issues for them last season. It's just going to be weird to see how it all comes together. I think that's normal for any team making large amount of moves at this time. Ooh, excuse me. In the free agency time. So I think the big question marks out of all is just who's going to make the game day roster, obviously. And then where are they sliding guys, and are they going to be effective at those positions? And how long will it take them to manipulate with the roster to find the right lineups and, those kind of things. I think other than that, though, like everybody they brought in complements who was on the roster, both in the locker room and out on the field. So I don't think that they're doing anything wrong. We just don't know what the product's going to look like quite yet. On paper, great job. On the field, question marks.
And this is just the first free agency window in the PLL, too. Mm-hmm. Like, this is all for pre-champ series and guys getting signed to rosters for that. And then there will be another free agency window which I love that change. And we talked about it when that got announced, but I am kind of shocked that like we haven't seen more from the Outlaws Hoots, because they're playing in Champ Series, and I know a lot of the guys
nearly
that
every
are
guy
free agents won't even be playing in Champ Series, but I am kind of not surprised, but like intrigued by just kind of their overall quietness outside of that flurry of moves right before Christmas that they signed guys to the Champ Series roster.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's when you look at who's not playing in that, it's kind of like
a majority of your free agents.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like it'd be cool to win it, but like there's really no one on the team that's going to be playing in it. So I think it's just going to be one of those things that they just kind of sign a bunch of guys all at once. I know they signed 3 guys a couple weeks ago, but yeah, well, I'm more intrigued with like how they're going to fill in defensive roles for the actual season, and especially with Warren not getting traded in the NLL. Does he then say, "Hey, I'll just go play for both Denver teams"? Stuff like that kind of crosses my mind from time to time. So we'll see. But yeah, it is kind of weird that there's like not been more talk because of how many guys can't play in Champ Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the Archers have been eerily quiet.
Made like
front.
one release.
Yeah, like Colby Bars went to the Cannons as a 30% guy, and that's the only move one way or the other that the Archers have made. Like John Robbins, free agent, Graham Hosick, Ryan Ambler, Warren Jeffrey, Cam Wires, Nick Washuta, and then they have a bunch of like 30% guys, and they release James Shipley, Will Shipley's brother, into the player pool, but he was a 30% guy as well. But I've been very intrigued by how quiet Bates has been in free agency.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels like he's a guy that takes care of his guys.
He got all the
as the GM.
He has all of the power right now. He's got all the power with his picks and everything that he's sitting on. Like, he can kind of let everybody else come to him or, figure out what they're going to do, and then he can attack methodically later on down the line.
Well, I'm not even looking at it from a draft perspective. I'm just looking at 2 guys in particular.
Well, I'm saying even
Graham Hosick and Warren Jeffrey.
But like those decisions factor into your draft decisions too. I think he's just
the draft is after.
I know, but your free agency decisions also affect your draft. So I think he's just sitting on everything that he has because he doesn't have to make any decisions right now. I mean, also, where are those 2 guys going to go?
Well, like Hoots just said, Warren Jeffrey could end up in Denver.
Cool. Then he just goes drafts. Like they also have they have depth and they have guys that he can go draft too. Like he's not in a position to where he has to lock anybody down. I don't think he has to lock anybody down. And if he does, I think those will be his first go-to guys once he does start to make moves. But like a lot of the guys that he would quote unquote have to lock down have probably already expressed immense interest in staying in Utah. Like, hey, I don't really want to go play for anybody else. So, like, you can focus your attention elsewhere because I'll sign whenever you come to me. And
well, when it comes to their defensive depth, they're all free agents. They have 1 guy under contract.
And who else has a bunch of guys open on defense other than Denver? Is Denver going to come and poach the whole squad? No. They might poach.
I hope so.
They might poach 1 guy, maybe 2, but they're not.
Cannons have an opening now that Bryce Young retired as well.
So you might lose 2 to 3 guys, and I don't even think they lose 3 guys. I don't even think they lose 2. You might lose 1 guy because you're deciding to wait. I don't see it as all that odd.
I mean, if New York wants to play Eli at LSM, they still have the Gavin Adler hole to fill.
Do they though? I don't think they do.
I mean,
because they have so many polls there. They're just going to move somebody they were playing at pole down to play close, and it's probably going to be Michael Grace. And then they're still going to have 2 polls and be just fine. I don't think they need to make any more moves. I don't see this as a big of an issue yet. Now, if we're still the beginning / middle of that second free agency wave, and he still hasn't made any moves, then I'll start to go, okay, I have some questions. But I don't think he has to panic. And a lot of those guys on his list are playing NLL too. So they're also like not really a ton to talk about with those guys either because they're focused on the NLL. I feel like this first wave is really more so for the guys that are strictly field or guys you want to add for Champ Series. I feel like the second wave is when it gets a little more like, hey, we're finalizing our roster for the season. Even though this is like a newer thing, that kind of just is what the vibe I'm getting from a lot of teams and how they're going about it.
Unless you're the Water Dogs and you make the biggest splash in PLL Free Agency.
But think about it. They went and got a guy who plays field only.
Right.
So
I'm just saying, from the perspective
I think it still fits that, hey, we're going after, like, this first movement is only for guys who only play field or are going to be added to our Champ Series rosters. Like, I think that still fits that mold. Like, yeah, it's a big move, but it still fits, like, the mold of, hey, these are the only guys we're signing / going after in this portion. And then the next portion, we solidify our roster.
How did I not know Jack DiBenedetto was signed through 2026?
I feel like we did know that. 'Cause I feel like we talked about that. That sounds very vaguely familiar.
Interesting.
You want to know how? It's a Denver guy.
True. Yeah, but there's a new sheriff in town. His name's Dave Cottle. A little bit of college news, too. Jordan Faison, it was announced today, blew up Lacrosse Twitter that he is foregoing playing lacrosse and will be simply focusing on football. Deej, as the resident college man, how are we feeling? I feel, from my perspective, it's just like he saw what Dante Trader did and got drafted and feels like he has that ability, which I think we all agree he does. So why risk injury for a potential NFL career?
So my first thought is this is sad for Dylan, who literally forewent his senior spring of high school just to go to Notre Dame early to play a season of college lacrosse with his brother, who's now not going to do that. That really sucks for him, but hey, he still gets to flourish and go and play lacrosse and, step into the college realm. So he'll get a chance to be the only Faison too. So I think that's kind of cool. He still gets to be himself. It's really hard having an older brother within that age range because, like, you get compared to them so much. So, like, now he will get to be, quote-unquote, Dylan and just not have to worry about, like, that big brother thing as much. A lot of people are going to compare him and just because the time is so close. But at the same time, people are going to let him be himself. I think it was a smart move for Jordan. My bigger thing with that is when you play any other sport that isn't lacrosse, they've shown time and again you can go and play that other sport and make a large amount of money and then still be in good enough shape to come back and play lacrosse.
See Jared Bernhardt.
So, yeah, I think Jordan should take a shot at the NFL, see what he can do, see what kind of career he has, and then maybe he does end up playing lacrosse in the PLL down the road. I think a team would want him as a midfielder down the road. He's fast, he's athletic, he can dodge, he can shoot, he has great lacrosse IQ, and then he's coming over from another professional sport where, he's in shape and knows how to do it. So I don't see how it would be a wrong move other than kind of, effing your brother over by telling him to come early and then not playing with him. Other than that, it's a phenomenal move for Jordan, and I think it'll work out for both him personally and for lacrosse fans around the world.
Yeah. Shout out to Jordan. And I do think it is the Dante Trader effect. Like, you see Dante do it, and
I don't even think it was that. I think it's happened
just from like a recency standpoint, where it's like Jordan, I think, really came into his own over the last year and a half, football wise.
Nah, he was that guy before that. Like, he stepped he stepped on campus and started right away as a slot receiver. Like he was always supposed to do football. I think he just really benefited from playing lacrosse and the crossover, and then this year it just got to the point because. Also, it's been brought up multiple times. He didn't play well last year. A lot of their football guys that played football and lacrosse at Notre Dame didn't play well because they went all the way to the national championship. So they jumped into lacrosse late after, getting back and celebrating like all this. They jumped into lacrosse late and they never really caught back up to everybody else who had put in that entire months of practice while they were playing football. So that affected their season. And I think it kind of just turned his head to the fact that, like, hey, I can go play lacrosse whenever. Like, the lacrosse is going to be there. I'm a top-tier athlete. I know how to pass and catch. I know how to shoot. I can get back in the groove whenever. But my football career only has a lifespan that is X amount of years. Let me go and see what I can do with that. And then if I want to go back and play lacrosse, I can. So I think it was really more, for him specifically, I think it was more of that sophomore slump season he had. If he didn't play bad last year, I think he still plays lacrosse this year, and it's a little bit more of a toss-up for him. But him having that bad season last year in his sophomore season kind of just accelerated that for him. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should take advantage of this football opportunity while it's here. Because if I wait, it may not be there. Dante Trader, I think, was different. I don't think Dante Trader quite had the lacrosse skill that Jordan has and would be as highly of a pick as Jordan would be. So I don't think the fight was there as much. And then Dante just pretty much just came out and was like, look, like, the real problem is football doesn't get done until this time. Lacrosse starts at this time. I don't have enough time to do both. I want to, but I don't. So I'm just going to pick football because I'm a little bit better at football than I would be in terms of professional lacrosse. With Jordan, it's just the money. He's chasing the money for a while, and I don't blame him. I would too.
I want you to take advantage of going and looking at the DM I just sent on Instagram, because JB34 posted one of the most hysterical Instagram stories of Dylan Malloy I've ever seen. Dylan looks so unenthused and so cold.
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out, like, that's so funny. That's lit, though.
I saved that photo because when Dylan goes off this year, I'm going to be like, Dylan's in his hood. Hoodie Malloy.
Hoodie Malloy. We got to catch him in a hoodie with the hood up.
That's so funny.
We got to get a pic. Hey, we got to get one of our photogs to get a picture of Dylan Malloy in a hoodie, hood up. Remember when Hoodie Mellow was a thing?
Yeah, that's what started the whole hoodie Twitter stan account.
It was him and A Boogie.
Crazy. And then they all turned into Stat Muse accounts.
Hey, did you see the Boiler Muse account for Purdue? Put out, somebody said, so is there a team out there that can beat Michigan? And they tweeted and said, here's the full list of teams that can beat Michigan, and put a screenshot of a notes app with nothing in it. And I said, oh, Michigan's really that good. If other teams' fan accounts are calling them the best. That's in conference, too. That's nuts. These
wild.
Muse accounts are getting out of hand.
They're so ridiculous.
They're getting close to the Centel accounts.
Yes. Which I love the conspiracy that the NBA Centel account is just Woj.
Imagine.
Because that guy's breaking news like weeks before it's out, and then it comes out.
And everybody's like, oh, you got Centel. And then 3 weeks later, they're like, damn. Homie didn't even really get Centel.
Woj is just scratching an itch behind a burner. He learned from KD.
Hey, I love how open KD is now, though, on socials.
It's so great.
He's just out there. And we can only blame Anthony Edwards for that. So thank you. Hey,
yep.
Thank you, Ant.
Anticlaus, baby.
I swear.
Any final thoughts before we get out of here, boys?
Go next.
There it is. Stay tuned for Hoots and Zach's photos all weekend long from Colorado and San Diego. Be sure to follow us on the socials at OTB LaxPod across the board. Follow Hoots at Hoot Sports Media. Follow Zach at ZachWeens.media on Instagram. Follow DJ at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the pod. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. Goes a long way for helping the show continue to grow. And if you're a Spotify user, you can watch the show on Spotify. Now, this episode and moving forward will also be viewable on Spotify. And we also want you to view it on YouTube. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week. Full video episodes of our original 6 shows on the network. Clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. We're pushing towards that next 100 subscriber milestone, so please subscribe, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia, and subscribe to the OTB YouTube channel, youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. 16 more subscribers gets you Unk and the Kids, the OTB College Show. Deej, Hoots, Jackie Knight. Subscribe. You only have a couple weeks left before we put it on ice again until 2027. And I know none of you want that to happen, because if you think this show is ridiculous, I can't imagine what it will be unfiltered without me directing traffic. So go and subscribe.
You think I'm gonna let it get out of hand?
youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. Yeah, and I want it out of hand. The NCAA doesn't credential us.
You're
It's
right.
the only entity that's never credentialed us.
I forgot about that.
So subscribe. youtube.com/@OTBLaxPod. And this has been episode number 408 of the award-nominated, honorably mentioned, number 9 NCAA ranked, number 11 Philadelphia ranked, and of course viewable on YouTube and now Spotify. Outside the Box Podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Industries Podcast Network. For Hoots, for Deej, I'm KB. Enjoy this weekend of lacrosse. We will see you back here next week, breaking it all down, gearing up for a loaded, full slate of NLL action. But until then, Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.